Okay, so with Buckball season, we have a new writer named Jennifer Skelly making her debut. And with the resume scattered enough to include everything from a couple Kung Fu Panda episodes to a couple preschool shows to a couple comic books, she's definitely an interesting choice, though I do have to wonder if the season 6 team would have been willing to give this a try if they weren't just kind of looking for whoever they could get at this point. Well, only all too eager to see how it turned out, so from a critic first and a fan second, here's the second opinion.
Non ti fermare, non ti fermare, non ti fermare.
Okay, so let's start with the good. Well, first off, Buckball itself is actually a nice bit of creativity. It's a little different, it's well thought out, and it's easy enough to understand so that you can enjoy watching it. Plus, the fact that it's new and requires all three pony races, Pegasus, Unicorn, and Earth ponies playing on the same team, carries the subtle implication that we're just starting to see a little more intermingling in Equestria.
My cousin Brayburn somehow convinced a Pegasus and a Unicorn to come play with him on the Appaloosa team.
And then there's the plot about how to work with someone as a trainer, which is a pretty intelligent one, yet one we don't actually get to see very much. Any good coach or trainer will tell you that all psyches are different, and knowing how to play off of each one and get the most out of them can be just as important as knowing the right techniques or exercises.
Having ponies depend on you is exactly what you need to focus.
Get serious and play hard.
And none of that sounds like Pinky or Fluttershy, does it?
When Kenny started training with me, he didn't like what I had to say because he doubted it. But I had patience and I learned how to reverse things on him, make him feel it was his idea. I'd tell him, man, the way you were throwing your hook today, that was beautiful. That's how I learned that you had to give Kenny the positive points before you bring in the negatives. I'd always praise him first. After that I could tell him all the bad things he did and he would accept them. These are things you have to learn about guys to get the most out of them. The cocky guy, you have to knock him down in front of people. You have to embarrass him in front of people. But if you did that to Kenny, he'd sulk for months. The guy he's talking about beat Muhammad Ali once, by the way. In fact, on that note, how about Snails of all ponies turning out to have the perfect mindset for this? I mean, even if they are still making fun of him for being stupid a little bit, this is surprisingly all it takes to make him kind of likable. It's all very Tao of Pooh. Actually, Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy having a natural talent for this is kind of a nice touch too, just for how unpredictable that can be.
Where did Pinkie Pie learn to buck like that?
And Fluttershy's spinning tail catch is pretty amazing.
And the solution goes the extra mile too, with Rainbow and Applejack not just talking the problem away all simple and convenient, but actually working their friend's natural talent back out of them. In kind of a fun scene at that.
Looks like you two really do need practice.
And now let's move on to the bad. I've gone on before about this show going from often familiar plots but played loose, thoughtfully, and with character depth, to familiar plots just played how they're always played, rigidly and standard, but this one's a new sort of deal. It's a unique plot, like I said, that they play rigidly and standard. Each time something significant happens, the main idea, at least for a next step, just seems to be reiterating it a couple of times, just hitting us over the head with it to make extra sure it's clear.
This looks pretty intense. Well, duh! You two are gonna be representing all of Ponyville, and more importantly, us. Faster! You don't want Ponyville to lose because you can't get into high gear, do you?
Just one miss will ruin the Apple family's Buckball reputation forever.
Whoa! What?
Whoa, the whole town really seems to care about this game a lot.
We wanted to make sure you two knew that all of Ponyville was behind you. I hear the whole town's already planning a parade for when you get back after whooping Appaloosa.
I bet Princess Celestia even comes to congratulate you. If that doesn't get you in the zone, I don't know what will.
And meanwhile, some points are paced out a bit awkwardly quick, like Rainbow and Applejack deciding early on that Pinkie and Fluttershy are better than them at this, without ever explicitly being outplayed by them, other than Pinkie beating Applejack in the initial jump for the ball a couple times. And speaking of which, let's talk about that little plot point.
If it means beating Appaloosa, I'll give either one of you my spot on the team quicker than Granny Smith can core an apple.
Me too. I'd normally be so pumped all of Ponyville was counting on me to win, I'd run right over the competition. But you still flew rings around me.
Yeah, nobody had better try to tell me that's character development for Rainbow, because if that's the idea, it's straight up skipping a step. There has never been an episode explicitly about her reaching any kind of point where she's okay with losing. A lot of people I've talked to seem to not mind or even like this for the idea that she's more mature now and can let it go sometimes, but to that I have to strongly caution you on what you're giving up on. Because is that really what you want to see, or do you want to see the story of how she overcomes those insecurities, of why they're so deeply rooted in her, and what it takes for her to become self-confident enough to handle losing this well? I mean, imagine if Fluttershy had just stopped being fearful and shy after green isn't your color. Actually, on that note, Fluttershy's also a little over the top in one or two moments here.
There's no way that we can get in the zone because the zone sounds like a horrible place since we are terrible at Buckball and we are going to lose and let everybody down and we don't want to play anymore!
To be fair, though, there were a couple subtle touches with everyone that I liked, like how in their final game against the other two, Rainbow and Applejack aren't made helpless to get the point across and are able to put up some kind of a fight. They're still good, it's just that Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy are better. So what's the final opinion? Actually, this is one of the stronger debuts we've had from a newbie in the past couple seasons, and it's all in all a solid episode. It does show at points that she's new, and it's only so much a breath of fresh air, but for the most part it just needed a little tweaking. There are thoughtful aspects here that speak to some real potential, enough so that I'd be interested in seeing her come back and grow into writing for these ponies, and maybe gain some inspiration as she goes along. Because frankly, we need all the enthusiasm we can get at this point. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, send it to Appaloosa, and if you'd like to watch another video in this series, click the link on the right. Otherwise, just check the description for more links, and I'll see you next time.